Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to Outnumbered Barbecue. Today I made this delicious, cheesy, smoky, brisket-filled mac and cheese in a rib bowl.
And then I ate the bowl!
To make the rib bowl, I'm using this rack of baby back ribs. Once we get it out of the package, dry it off, there's not a whole lot of trimming that needs to be done. We'll just take off any of these loose bits hanging off and we'll square off this end. As a seasoning, I'm going to be using this 2-part black pepper, 1 part kosher salt, 1 part smoked paprika. We'll just season the meat side. Flip it over. And to make the bowl, we'll be using this butcher's twine. Just cut off a piece, 1.5 feet long or so. And what we'll do is we'll wrap this rack of ribs with the meat side in, the bone side out, and then we'll just tie a knot to hold it all together. Cut off the tips, and I'll use another piece of string a little bit lower down just so it doesn't come undone. And now that we have our bowl made, we'll just season the outside, season the bone side, and then we'll be ready to get it out on the pit. This looks good. Let's get the smoker fired up. I'm cooking today on the Workhorse Pits 1975T. I'm using post oak and I'm cooking at 275 degrees. By the way, if you've ever wondered where the hot spot is on 1975, it's right there. I'll be smoking this rib bowl for about 3 hours. We don't want it fall apart tender. It has to hold up to that mac and cheese. I'll bring you back in about 2.5 hours, see what it looks like. Here we are after 3 hours. That rib bowl's looking great. Look at that nice red color. We'll go ahead and pull it off, get started on our mac and cheese. The star of the brisket mac and cheese is the brisket. I have a flat here that I've had in the freezer. Took it out, let it defrost. I'm going to cut it up into some slices and then we'll chop it up. Now that we have the brisket all chopped up, we get our noodles cooked. We're going to cook these al dente, a little bit firm. They have to still absorb some of that cheese sauce. And speaking of cheese, I'll be using 1 pound of this Tillamook sharp cheddar and some Parmesan cheese. Let's get it grated. The noodles are done. Let's set them aside and work on our cheese sauce. If you've ever tried to melt cheese before, especially cheddar cheese, if you heat it too fast, it just turns into a greasy mess. That's why you need some sort of emulsifier. The emulsifier keeps that cheese from separating. You have several options. You can use a few slices of American cheese. It has an emulsifier already included. Or you can use something like this sodium citrate. You can find this on Amazon, not very expensive. A little bit goes a long way. A couple of teaspoons is all you need. It's an excellent choice. But what I'm going to use is evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is readily found in the grocery store, has an emulsifier already as an ingredient, and it adds to the taste. This is what I'm going to use. To build this cheese sauce, we'll start with a can of our evaporated milk. Then we'll add about half of our shredded cheddar cheese. Keep stirring to melt that cheese. Then we'll add half of our Parmesan cheese. Once that starts to get nice and melted, we'll add the other half of our cheddar cheese and the other half of our Parmesan. And for the rest of the liquid, I'll add heavy whipping cream. This is not health food, folks. About 2 cups. Now for spices, we'll add a little bit of this ground white pepper and give that a mix. And a few dashes of your favorite hot sauce. And some yellow mustard. Yellow mustard goes great with cheddar cheese, really pops in this cheese sauce. Once all the cheese is melted, it'll be pretty thin, pretty watery. That's exactly the way we want it. Once we pour it over these noodles will start to absorb that cheese sauce and it'll be thick and gooey. It'll be great. Now the last ingredient is the smoked brisket. Add as much as you want. I'm adding about a cup and a half, a few big handfuls. Make it as meaty as you want. Now just give it a good mix, and you need to let it sit. It needs to sit for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Let those noodles start absorbing that sauce. Now let's go ahead and fill our rib bowl. Couple of big ladles of this meaty, cheesy brisket mac and cheese. Now top with another handful of that smoked brisket and drizzle with your favorite barbecue sauce. Some onion for garnish and we're ready to taste. Look how cheesy, look how gooey this is. Let me get a piece of brisket in here to taste also. There we go. Let's give it a taste. Wow, that's really good. Well, Labor Day's this weekend. Football season is right around the corner. I hope you make this delicious smoked brisket mac and cheese. I promise you won't be disappointed. Well, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you know somebody that would enjoy this video, please share it with them. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and thanks for watching.